Hello, my name is Pearson Smith. I am the developer for License to Sail. It's a U.S. Coast Guard license exam study tool for U.S. merchant mariners. I made this app started working on this app back in 2018. It was called Engine License and Deck License, and eventually turned into License to Sail in 2022. But the reason why I made this app was just to study for the license exams on my phone. There was not really any mobile applications out there. There was Upgrade You, but the developer for that didn't really update his app that often, and then he had an engine app which kept crashing. So I decided to make my own app for Apple devices, so for iOS app, iPad, and Mac OS. And the other reason why I made this app was because you had Lapware and you had C sources and some other websites, and those were websites. So as a merchant mariner, I'm sailing on a ship overseas. I don't really have much internet access. So why? How could I study on those websites? And then you had Mariner Advancement, which was an offline tool, but you had to buy a Windows laptop, and then you had to stick this dongle in the side of your laptop, and you pretty much had to study like at a table. You'd have to sit the laptop on a table because the laptop would get too hot, and then you had this dongle, this USB stick stuck in the side of your computer that you can't remove because you need it to study for the exams. So and then you're limited on like your rack. If you're laying in your rack and you have the hot laptop on your belly, it's just uncomfortable. So License to Sail just kind of helps you. It makes it easier to study anywhere. Like you could study in the wheelhouse, study um, in your rack, study at the Union Hall. So it just makes it very convenient. So we're gonna go over the kind of a brief introduction setup of the app, and then there'll be some other videos, tutorials on how to use the app. So we're gonna go ahead and launch it. So I'm assuming you've downloaded it from the App Store. And here's our welcome screen. We're going to go ahead and get started. You can either pick deck or engine. We'll go ahead and pick deck. And you can pick your limitation. I've added everything in here. So if there's something missing, let me know. But we're going to go ahead and, for demonstration purposes, select oceans near coastal. And then the third mate exam. The third mate unlimited exam. It also says second mate here because you could technically test for your second mates. But usually people upgrade through C days. But yeah, the second mate's exams are the same as the third mate's exams. All right, and then here's your confirmation. So the Coast Guard sends you a letter, and you approve the test. It'll list what modules you need to study for, and this selection page can help you confirm that you're studying for the right modules. If not, you might want to go back and double check, and if that's wrong, let me know so I can make those accommodations for you in the app, and I'll quickly push an update. But we'll go ahead and hit confirm, and then there's some little information here. All right, so here's the info page. At the top, it tells you what you're studying for, what your license code, if you're subscribed or not. On the left side here, this button, you can select your profile. So second or third mate unlimited, or if you're overachiever and you want to study for your engine license, you can create a new profile and add the engine license, and then you can swap between profiles to study for. On the right side is your sidebar menu. This is where you can subscribe to the app. Monthly, annual subscription. I highly recommend just doing the annual subscription. You save a lot of money. Manage a subscription. If you don't like the app, you can cancel right here. Support. If you find any bugs, let me know. Email support. You just click on the support link and it'll pull up an email to send me. Review. If you want to give the apps 5 stars, that'd be awesome. Left-handed mode for notes. Speech for studying. I'll show that later. Reset study plan. Swap profile. Again, same thing. And then reset question stats. So the question stats, there's 2 different ways the app tracks your progress. So it'll track your progress through the question banks, and then also it'll track your question stats. So question stats is just the app logs how many times you've marked this question wrong. That way, the on-device AI can analyze that and tell you your weak areas. All right, so we have announcements, daily questions, solutions. Announcements shows kind of what's new for the app. I've been doing a lot of bug fixes lately, so again, if you have any bugs, please let me know. Daily question, and then solutions. If you want to submit solutions, feel free to do so. I've added most of the solutions to the app, but if there's some solutions missing and you have some, please let me know. Send them to me, because I don't know how to do chart plot. I'm an engineer. And then create study plan, which we'll go over in a later video. All right, at the bottom here is your tab bar. We're gonna hit study, and here's all your subjects. So the app is divided up into subjects, and if you hit generals, you'll go into your sub-subject. We'll hit deck, and here's your subject menu. At the top here, here's all your different modes to study for the questions, and then your study progress, your test scores, and then your subject stacks. So that's where the AI analyzing happens on the device. And then you can reset your progress, which is the study progress for the subject, if you want to start all over again. Keep your finger away from that button. It will prompt an alert to verify if you really want to reset the stats. The progress. And then we have a references view. References view is all the PDFs you used to take the exams. So when you go take your exams, the Coast Guard is going to provide like the CFRs, and this is where you go to grab your CFRs. So if I pick this 33 CFR here and click on it or tap on it, it'll download it, and then I can tap on it here, and then there's your 33 CFR, and you can search through the CFR if you want to, and then the share button here is if you want to like airdrop it to your Mac and be able to view that PDF on your computer instead of on the phone. That way, it makes it easier rather than switching through tabs here. So that is the basic overview of the app, and we'll have other videos in this series to kind of explain more of the app. So the next video is going to be the subject structure, how everything is structured in the app for question wise.